Hey everybody, Belinda Sandor here. Welcome to In the Spotlight. We're here with Diane, who started VA school just a few months ago, and I really appreciate you coming. So thank you, Diane.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So tell me a little bit about your VA journey. So when you started VA school a couple of months ago, where were you? Like, what was going on in your life, and how did you come to this decision to be a VA and jump in?
Well, to be honest, I don't even know how you ended up in my inbox. Divine intervention. I don't know. Because when the student's ready, the teacher will appear, I think. Um, I thought about virtual assisting, but I didn't really know anything about it because I'm not from the corporate background. I'm a hairdresser. But with my hairdressing background, I'm also a hospitality teacher. I've managed the salon. I've been in all the different roles. And so, no, kind of different things that need to be done. But what really started was I started helping my dad with some cemetery work. He's president of a cemetery. And then the more I got into it, the more I realized I'm like, Dad, this is like a real legit job. And I'm spending a lot of hours and I should be compensated. So we talked to the board and whatever. And it's turned out that I now manage the records for the cemetery. And so technically I do that from my house. So that's my first VA job.
It's awesome.
And that spun into another VA job. And this was after I joined VA school that I learned that it's possible. And I think what attracted me most to VA school was the whole use the skills you already have, because I didn't realize I had skills.
And
My
you
days off, I would spend playing on the computer. I would make printables. I would make PDFs. I would do all these things, not realizing that it's marketable. And so,
Mhm.
Belinda, you show me that it's marketable.
That's awesome.
And so after a presentation to the cemetery board to let them know what I was doing and why they were paying me, the cemetery is owned by the township. The township president was there and asked me to present at the township meeting. And then the township asked me to make their website.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah, so
and
what
that's it's just been word of mouth. I haven't My website I still need to update. I haven't updated my LinkedIn profile yet or anything. It's all been word of mouth. And I have another VA client that I do social media posting for. And I also updated her website. So I taught myself WordPress and Divi to do that for her. And that was also a word of mouth referral.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That's
it
where
is
the best
possible.
clients come from. Yeah, that's where the best client, and this is just 2 months in, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So so it sounds like your confidence level has really shifted because you went from not knowing you had these skills to, like, you are one of the most skilled people I know. When you
Yeah,
start to
it's just very strange because like that whole imposter syndrome, like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know. But yeah, so being in VA school and the group of women that I'm in with are absolutely amazing. Everybody's really supportive. We get together at least once a week. We chit chat on a chat, and everybody's supportive. If you have a question, you put it out there. Somebody has an answer. And but yeah, so as far as my confidence goes, absolutely 100%. And I realized too that even the women that I work with that are all, dare I say, 20, 30 years younger than I am, don't have a clue about any of the technology things that they should because they're that age group. And yeah, I'm showing them what to do, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Well, they have a different perspective, because the
Hmm.
world is so different. I'm a few years older than you, but we're kind of in the same zone here. And yeah, it's different. The whole being in service and social media and we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have all that
No.
stuff. So we were really figuring things out in a different way that we can now use technology to apply to that. But the skill is really the I'll figure it out part. I
Right.
think
And I think my own natural curiosity and wanting to know how things work, I just I figure it out. Whether I figure it out on my own or I ask questions or I Google it or whatever, I I can generally come up with something.
mhm.
And like I said, if I don't, I ask. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, so tell me, what was one of the things that surprised you about VA school? Like you signed up and you thought, okay, I'm going to get this and this and this, but you didn't really expect, whatever it is. What surprised you?
The community
Hmm.
is the
Yeah.
big thing. And the reason why I signed up for your VA school in particular is because I'm notorious for signing up for classes and courses, and they're sitting there waiting for me to do something with it, and I need accountability. The study hall, the twice a week, everybody meeting together and having that accountability, and then just the core group in our particular class is there for each other, so we all have accountability. So we check in with each other, we set goals for the week, and everybody just makes sure that we're staying on track. And if
Mhm.
we run into snags, people are there to help you through it.
Yeah, that's my biggest surprise too, because as I was building this over the last year, it's like we're going to have a Facebook group, but I didn't really know how that was going to work, and I didn't know how the people would come together because I tend to be more of a loner, and being introverted, I'm not drawn to big groups, and watching how you guys have created this really intimate friendship. And the first time I saw it, I thought, okay, this is just the first group. But now I've seen it 6 times, and it
Hmm.
happens every time. And so now I've even gotten bold enough to say, okay, you guys are going to be friends forever. So just start to get
Yeah.
to know each other because this is what's going to happen. And it's true. And I see how you watch out for each other, and you've got each
Hmm.
other's backs.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's amazing. Whoops, I left my door open. Hold on one second. So tell me a little bit about, because we have all kinds of things going on at Command Central here. So tell me, was there anything? Were you on the fence at all about VA school, or did you just see it and know like this is what we're doing?
I was absolutely on the fence because it was, I'm not going to lie, it was a big financial commitment that we didn't have the money. I'll be honest, we did not have the money, period. And one of the reasons why you know, asked to be paid for the work that I was doing, it was either I get paid to do this work or I had to get a second job someplace else. And it's not that I make a really good living doing what I do, but I've been doing it almost 40 years and my body's tired.
Right, and braces. Right, you have a
And
little one.
braces and driver's ed and all the things. And my husband, was furloughed and then laid off and then just completely lost his job during 2020. So he was off the entire year. So we blew through all our savings, and he got a job exactly a year later,
Hmm.
and but at a $20,000 cut in pay. So me being resourceful, okay, I got to figure out how am I going to make up this deficit, but how can I also stay home and be here with my kids?
Right, right.
And it's like I hemmed and hawed. I was like, do we do? Like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to do this. And it was all the reason why is the accountability.
That's awesome.
And, and that's why. And I decided that, you know what? This is something I could do. And then when my husband said, this would be a good retirement gig for you, I'm like, you're right. So I'm like, so he gave me permission in a roundabout way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I have to say, I don't see any, so we were in study hall yesterday, and so it was a different group, and someone said retirement seems to be for people who have jobs they don't like. Because for me, retirement, I don't even imagine that, I don't know
No,
what I would do, so because I'm a doer like you. And, I just think about, well, maybe I don't work on Fridays anymore. Like, what would that be like, and staying very active the rest of the time. But yeah, I don't see at 61, I don't see an end to the runway.
no.
I've had students, well, in the last VA school, the one in October, it wasn't the last one, but the one in October, one of the women was in her 70s, and she was
Hmm.
cooking along, both burners, really
Yeah.
clients and making money and enjoying yourself and updating your website and, all those things. So that's great. I love that you see this for your future, and that it will move you away from, yeah, I mean, doing hairdressing, it is very physical. You're on your
Hmm.
feet, it's almost like landscaping for people, right? You're
Yes.
like,
Yeah, exactly. And I love what I do. I love my clients, but I also need to know that I will be able to provide for myself, my husband, my children in the future if I don't continue that career in another 10 years. Um, but again, like you, I'm not going to sit around and
Right.
just watch the world go by. I need to be active in something. So I might as well be doing something I love to do and then get compensated for it is even a bonus. So,
I know. It's so good. It's so good. I feel the same way. I love doing this, and then that I can make a good living on top of it is just so awesome. It's awesome.
well, and when I paid off my husband's car early with the earnings from my virtual assistant business, he was all in.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's when he's like, okay, this is legit. This is good.
Yeah, sometimes family isn't on board right away, and I get that. I know my family was like, "What are you doing? You need to get a job. You're being irresponsible." But I make way more than I would in a job,
Hmm.
and and I'm at home, and I have flexible hours. I mean, yesterday we have chickens, and Lavinia, one of our chickens, she's won't put any weight on her foot. Can you imagine going into your job and saying, "I need to take my chicken to the vet"? They'd be like, "Are
You're
you
like, what?
crazy?" Yeah, but I just wrapped her in a towel, put her in the car, and off we were, and
Yeah.
off we went. And she's recovering. But it's just little things like that, or running to the store, or,
Hmm.
throwing a load of laundry in, at the beginning of the day, and not having to worry about, making my lunch and all of those things. It's a great lifestyle. It really is a great
It
lifestyle.
really is. And this is what I love about it because I like knowing that. So, like last night, we were watching TV and I was able to work on work while I was doing that because what I was doing didn't take, I don't want to say a lot of brain power,
I know
but
what you mean.
it didn't take a lot of concentration.
Yep.
Um, and I was editing some things on Excel. And so I was able to do that and still be with my family in the living room. And over this past weekend, we had two weddings to go to, and one of the weddings was going to be an all-day event, but we had about 4 hours free. So I brought my laptop. I got 2 hours of work in while the kids were at the pool because I wasn't
Mhm.
going to go in the pool. And
Yeah.
I I made Facebook and Instagram posts. It was very fun. I was on Canva all day.
Yeah, yeah, I love doing that. I love doing that. When we drive Emily to college, she likes to sit in the front seat. She gets car sick, and I don't mind sitting in the back seat. So I set up my own little office back there, and
Hmm.
I call it billable from the back seat. So Greg's driving, Emily's on her phone, and nobody really is going to talk anyway. And I'm back there doing email and client stuff and making literally hundreds of dollars while
Yeah.
we're driving Emily to college, and it just makes me feel pretty smart. you know,
Well, that's just it. It's like, I got done. I'm like, well, I made a couple of bucks while we were sitting here at the pool,
Mhm.
so it was pretty cool. But like in
Exactly.
July too, we have a road trip to go to Minnesota. I live in Illinois, and it's 7 hours. I have 7 hours to get work done.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that. I love it. Look up, see the scenery. I
Yeah,
still feel very present to what's going on, but I'm also taking care of business and cleaning stuff
yeah.
up, and it's really good. It's really good. Well, thank you so much for coming. This was awesome. I love this conversation. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to keep an eye on you because I think you are well on your way, and I'm so
Thank you very much because I also am the type of person who I need the encouragement because, you know, we're like, can we do this? Is it possible? It's like the chicken chatter,
Mhm,
as you
mhm.
say. But it's like I'm like, yeah, I think I can do this. But then I think, oh, well, there's other people that are way more qualified than I am, or whatever. And but then it's like, oh, wait a minute. When I addressed the people at the board on those two meetings, I had so much confidence because I knew more about what I was talking about than what they did.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And if you want some more confidence, look at this.
Oh, yay! Thank you.
Your people are watching. Your
It's
people
part
are
of
watching.
our peeps.
That's right. Absolutely right.
Well, I will say this. It is very true. It's like we are going to have lifelong friends. And even when VA school is over, we will be there to support each other.
Mhm.
And we've actually gotten to where um, in our little group, we have a spreadsheet where everybody's putting in what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. So if we come across a client who needs something we can't offer, we have someone to refer them to.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
So
You guys are
we
so resourceful.
it's a really awesome network.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because at the core of it, who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody last night. Oh yeah, yeah, I was talking to somebody last night and we had office hours and she was saying, I hear you saying, we'll bring this person in and this person in and this person in. So my clients don't look at me like I'm less because I can't do graphics. They're so happy that I say, oh, here's the guy, he'll do it,
Yeah.
or here's the web guy. And to really to bring that whole network. And so you guys are really setting yourself up for huge success to bring each other in. Plus, you like each other and you trust
Hmm.
each other,
Yes.
right? And so that's huge. That's huge. So I love that you guys are creating that network. Other VA
Yeah,
groups have done that too.
it's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone runs across something, they post is like, hey, we ran across this job opportunity. If anybody's interested, things like that. So that was the one thing that was greatly unexpected because I'm kind of like you, where there are days I'm introverted, other days I'm extroverted, but I kind of like to work alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting being in this where it's like, wow, everybody truly is there to lift each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
truly grateful for that. So thank you,
Yeah.
Belinda. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a joy. It is a total joy. So thank you so much for everything you shared. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in study hall and everybody else. I'm available if you want to
Yep.
talk about VA school. All right. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Belinda.